Health savings accounts are a very popular instrument these days. As healthcare costs continue to rise, HSA accounts are becoming more and more popular. But the big question is, can you use your HSA? How does it work with Medicare? Can you fund your HSA when you or your spouse is on Medicare? I've got those details coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I am the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Okay, so we got this retirement boom happening. More and more people are retiring, and yet at the same time, we have this massive increase in the cost of health insurance. And so these are two trends. A lot of employers have been starting to offer high deductible, HSA eligible, high deductible health plans, okay? And a lot of employees are starting to shift to those. That's what we've had here for nearly 20 years. And so HSA plan, so it's a high deductible health plan, gives you the ability to open up a bank account, an investment account called a health savings account. And then you have the choice of putting money into this health savings account. When you do, that money, that contribution is pre-tax. And if you fund it right out of your paycheck, it's pre-federal, pre-state, and pre-FICA tax, which is pretty sweet. Then if you use that money, it's not use it or lose it, okay? You can keep it from year to year to year. If you use that money for qualified medical expenses, now what are those? So, contacts or co-pays or prescriptions, right? So qualified medical expenses, that money comes out tax-free. So pre-tax in, tax-free out, nothing else like it in the tax code. So very, very sweet deal. So yeah, that sounds good. I want to do that. Well, you can only open and fund one of these health savings accounts if you have a qualifying high deductible health plan. So you'll know, like high deductible, that's a relative term, right? So you might feel like they're all high. Yeah, my deductible's high, sure. It's got to be an HSA eligible, a qualified high deductible health plan. And if it is, then you get to fund your HSA. Then, do you have to use the money when you have an HSA? No, you can use the money at any time, today, tomorrow, or years from now, for a qualified qualified medical expense, okay? So you can only fund it if you have a special type of health insurance plan. You can then use the money whenever, okay? So that's pretty much how it works. Let me get to the crux of the issue that I want to talk about today. There's lots of places we can go with an HSA type discussion. We're going to hit a lot of them on this channel, but for today, the thing that I'm dealing with a lot of is people transitioning to retirement and having HSA plans. The one in particular I'm dealing with right now is an individual whose wife is older than him. She's 67 years old, okay? And so she's Medicare eligible because she's 65 or older. Turns out she's also disabled, so she would have been eligible earlier. But she's 67, he's 64, and he's still working, right? So he still has employer-provided health insurance, and it happens to be an HSA plan, a high deductible health plan. And so he's 64, and she is also on the group plan because the employer actually pays a lot of the health insurance cost. So instead of her being on Medicare, she's actually on the employer-provided plan, except she does have Medicare Part A. She was on Social Security Disability, so she was on Social Security. They automatically enrolled her in Part A. She didn't opt out. And by the time they came in to see me, that was already in place. Okay, lots of details there, but that's the fact pattern. Can the 64-year-old contribute to his HSA? The truth is, you cannot contribute to an HSA unless you have a high deductible health plan and making sure that you don't have any other health insurance. You can't have any other health insurance and still contribute to an HSA, okay? You've got to have a qualifying high deductible health plan, and you have to have no other health insurance. And if that's the case, you can contribute. Medicare, even Medicare Part A, disqualifies you. That means you have other insurance. They're not allowed to contribute to your HSA as part of your high deductible health plan. So that's what we were working on. That's what I was telling him. So that's the first fact you need to know. So we're working on that, and we continue to dig into the details. And it turns out we stumbled into a very, very peculiar part of the Internal Revenue Code. Because he has family coverage, he and his spouse are both covered under the employer coverage, and because he is not on any other insurance, he is not on Medicare, he is allowed to contribute the full family amount to his health savings account. Guys, I didn't believe it. And I actually told him, I said, all right, let's make sure we get this in writing. We got it in writing from the employer, from the health insurance company, and they even reached out to an attorney, because you can't even find that fact. If it is a fact, you can't find that detail anywhere in the IRS. They had to go all the way to an attorney and get the answer. So that is obscure. In this situation, if the person working, the employee, has family coverage, and that person doesn't have any other health insurance, but the family member does, you can still contribute, that person, that employee can still contribute the family amount to the HSA. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Okay, how do you apply this? Lots of nuggets in here. Very first is, if you have a high deductible plan that makes you eligible for the HSA, you've got to consider funding it. You've got to consider maximizing that funding. Talk to your certified financial planner. See if that makes the most sense for you. Likely it does. I mean, truly, this is a very unique type of financial instrument. So talk to your CFP, see if that makes sense for you. Second, you've got to be very careful about having a high deductible health plan and funding an HSA, and also having any other insurance. And this particularly comes up when you're switching jobs or when you're transitioning on Medicare. So make sure that, like, logic, it's not just a logical transition. This is, you can't use logic and figure this out. Work with a specialist, work with a certified financial planner. This is part of the reason why we have health insurance experts on our team. We've got a full team of CFP, certified financial planner, but you've got to have the other specialists on your team so that you can get this knowledge and have all of this incorporated into the advice that you're getting. If you're not getting that level of advice, you can always contact my firm. You can find us online, corehorn.com, that's Corehorn with a K, or wisemoneyshow.com, or just send us an email, info@corehorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.